We're gonna go ahead and move on to the reaction part. So we're gonna listen to a couple of credit gurus and see if we can help them out a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's jump into this. Let's do this. All right. All right. What's the first
All
one?
right, so y'all, welcome back. We have a new video.
Oh, wait a
Today we are
minute. Wait a
talking about
minute. Me first. My video. I'm gonna full screen this. Okay, great. What's the? Ooh, it's way too high. Let's just do 1080. We don't need to do that well. All right. So let's see. Do this and get approved for any car you want. You hear this? Any car you want. So that means if you want a 2000 Honda Civic, he's going to show you how to get approved for that. If you want a Lamborghini, like he has right here, he'll show you how to get approved for that. If you want a classic car, he's going to show you how to get approved for that. So remember, I'm a loan underwriter. This is what I do for a living. So let's see what he got. Let's see what he got.
All right, so y'all, welcome back. We have a new video because most of these places think like, well, you are at now. How come you never establish car credit? How come you
Ooh, a little
never
too forward.
don't really want to take on the risk unless about
Whoa,
your car history?
whoa,
You know, I got good
my
credit.
man.
I can get anything I want. You know what I mean? That's not accurate. Most car dealers care about your car history. They want to know if you ever had a car before. You can walk in there right now with a credit score of 850, but if you don't have no car history, then they don't really want to take on the risk unless you give them at least half down of whatever.
Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're starting off with this type of information. Okay. All right. So let's address what he said before. He says that dealerships, when you go to the dealership and finance through the dealership, all they care about is credit history. That is a big that's wrong. They care about your overall credit, but the most important piece of your credit is your car history. So Kevin Bandwell, my bad if I got it wrong, my bad. So you may wanna read it. You wanna rephrase this and just say, out of everything of your credit, your your car history is the most important. We still kill, we still care about your credit history, which is just one factor when it comes to approving someone for a loan. Um, and then so that is very incorrect. We car history is important, but we care about the overall credit as an underwriter because when the dealership submits your application, it sends it on over to the underwriter for them to approve it, look over their guidelines, make sure they're in their guidelines, if they can approve it, and everything else works out. The other thing is that then they want you to have 50%. That is not in all cases, which again, he should clear that out. Not in most cases. Normally, if you have really bad credit, or if it's been like over a little bit over a year that you charged off or let a car get repossessed, I can see that definitely happening. But not in most cases. If you don't have any credit history, they will require some of a down payment. It just varies from lender to lenders. I've seen it sometimes, like you said, it's 50%, sometimes 20, sometimes 10. Whatever the dealership says. Because the thing is the reason why there's a couple reasons of why they want it. But if we're looking at it from a lender's perspective, the reason why they would when they ask you for a down payment is because they that will look really good to the lenders, knowing that you have some skin in the game. The more the better. I would say at least if you have no credit or bad credit, at least do like a minimum of a 20% down payment of the car's value. So essentially, don't finance in the taxes and all that. So essentially, because essentially, if a car's valued at 10,000, but you're financing 12,000 because the additional 2,000 for taxes and dealer fees and all that. 20% of 10,000 is 2,000. So that means you would want to come up with 4,000 if you were going to do 20% down, because again, you're covering the car and then you're paying for the taxes out of pocket. So that's exactly what it means. And then as pertain for uh, if you don't have a any car history, there are lenders that will nowadays, it didn't never used to be like this before, but if you don't have any credit or have bad credit, there are now lenders that will finance you if you don't have any bad credit or no credit. Just know it's going to be a little bit more of a higher interest rate. So I would suggest to start with the credit unions. If they don't work, then go to those people if you want to finance a vehicle. So yeah, so this whole thing about 50% down and that they only care about your car history, in summary, it is incorrect. Why? Because I do this for a living, so I understand what it takes to approve somebody. Let's go ahead and continue.
Ever, if they're gonna ask you, well, are you willing to put 50% down of what the car costs?
Mm-hmm.
Then they probably consider you
That's a
with
lie.
bank statements, with a decent address, because at the end of the day,
See, that's how you know he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because it's more than just a decent address and bank statement that it takes to approve somebody for an auto loan. The credit is a portion of it. Do you have a debt to income? Is it within guidelines? Is the payment to income ratio in guidelines? When you go to apply for a dealership, there's a certain amount of your income that the lender puts a threshold that they can't cross. Um, it varies from lender to lender. Some lenders are 10, other ones are 15, the other ones are 20%. It just varies. So yeah, so credit, income, how long you've been with your job, that's very important. How much money you're putting down. So it's like there's a lot that it goes when it goes to underwriting. Or yeah, when it goes to seeing if you're going to give somebody a loan for a car. So I don't know about this guy. He's a little fishy.
hey, you gotta understand, when you are trying to get a loan and when you are trying to ask the banks for some money, that is a risk. And like I say, the banks want to deal with you, but they want to make sure, like, if you had a car in the
Let's move a
past,
little
if you pay
forward.
your car note on time, establish car credit. How come you never establish credit? That's why I
Ooh.
establish car credit. How come you? And they want to know why, at the age you are at now, how come you never establish car credit? How come you never?
What is this guy talking about? I've never in my life have ever asked, why is this 40-year-old person barely applying for a car? We don't care about that when it comes to when it comes to applying for some people. Again, like I said, it's their credit, their income, their down payment, how stable they are at their job. When it comes to the credit, he stated a little bit before I fast forwarded, but how many cars have you had in the past? How have you paid those cards in the past? What's your highest payment you ever had for a car? Have you ever had any cars charged off or repossessed? And then outside of your car history, okay, what other loans do you have? How long have you been paying them? Or your past due? Do you have a lot? Or have you been using your credit cards? Do you have a high utilization of using your credit cards? There's so much that goes into approving somebody for a car, and this is how you know he doesn't understand what he's saying. Like everything that he's saying is very surface level. So like if there was like 3 levels to it, it would be like people like him that just tell you what other people have told you him, and then I would say you have people like me that actually is in there approving, declining, encountering for those loans. So it's like you can tell the difference between the information that I have for you and then the information that he's telling you, because so far he hasn't really told you really much about how to get you approved for a loan, because you have to know underwriting guidelines. You have to know what a job of an underwriter is in order to tell people you can get approved for any car you want. So, and we're only like a minute and a half into this video. Goddamn.
Never established credit. That's
Yeah.
why I talk about why is credit so important, because most of these places think like, well, you know, if you smart, you should establish car credit, you should establish credit card credit, you should establish some type of loan credit. These are the three
All right, we're
most
gonna move a
things you
little
want to
forward. We're
do.
gonna move a little
You want
forward.
to have doesn't do too much unless it's on a lot, and the car costs 10K, 15K, 20K. You can start
Okay.
off with something cheap, a whole lot of money. So let's say if a car is on a lot and the car costs 10K, 15K, 20K, you can start off with something cheap just to get the car credit history going, right? So, you know, you can do that for about 6 months and then keep upgrading. Then get into like a 30K loan, then get into a 50K loan, then a 100K loan, and keep working your way up. The thing that you want.
I don't know if you caught it. I don't know if you guys caught it. Are you? This guy is delusional. This guy has no idea what he is talking about. So he says, okay, so if you're trying to get into a, let's say if your goal is to get into a Lamborghini car, and you've never had an expensive vehicle like a Lamborghini that's around $300,000 and up, he's saying that, okay, start off with a $10,000 car loan, and then every 6 months, essentially the whole foundation of every 6 months, keep increasing your loan. That's not how it works when it comes to approving someone for a higher auto loan. We need to see more than 6 months in order to continue increasing. A little secret for you guys: when we're looking at your credit report, we see 2 years of history. And a 2 years of history is always the best. That's what we always want to see, but it's not always what we see. So if we were gonna want to take someone from 10,000 to 30,000, for me personally, I would at least want to be able to. If I'm only going to use 1 year of car history, I want to see a decent down payment on the car, because again, doing 6 months, that's only 6 months of payments as opposed to 12 months, which is a year. So it just mind boggles me that this guy is giving the he's giving this advice and he has no idea. Do not listen to this. If you want to get to a Lamborghini, what you need to do is, okay, so if you're gonna start off with $10,000 using his example, what you want to do is at least pay for that vehicle a year to year and a half before you start upgrading. The longer history you have, the better with the car, because that's very important. Because the whole point of when you go to a loan, to go apply for a loan, and an underwriter looks at it, is, are you going to be able to pay us back? Well, not me, because I ain't getting the money. I wish I was, but I wasn't. But not the point. But yes, that's the whole point. Are you going to be able to repay us back if we give you money? That's majority of what we care about as underwriters. So if we see that you at least made 12 payments, or even what is it, 18 payments? I think it's a year and a half. I don't know, but you get it. So if we see either 12 and this is 6 months, yeah, 18 payments, that's a year and a half, and you're at least putting like 10% down. I personally, based off policies, in my judgment, I'm able to be like, okay, this person, he's not going to pay it. So far, he's paid at least a year. He's at least put in like 5 to 10% of the vehicle. So far, his credit, everything else is looking good. Like, why not? Why not? Like, why not increase them based off everything that I'm seeing and based off my judgments? And then from there, if we're going to go from a $30,000 vehicle to a $40,000 vehicle, okay, all right. Hey, he's been paying good. Like, each time he's had a loan and he's increased it so far, he's been paying it on time. Really good down payment. Income very stable at his job. Overall credit really great. So it's like, don't listen to this advice. Oh my god. Yo, he says something else that's crazy. I gotta move on. This guy's wild.
Want to do is keep increasing the car credit limit history. That's your main goal.
He doesn't
A hundred
understand how
thousand dollar car, $150,000 car, a $200,000 car, and once you start doing that, that's this car. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole finesse and the whole goal, especially if you got a business, if you got, you know what I
Oh
mean?
my god.
If you establish that thing. So if you know, okay, cool, I need primaries, I need train lines, and I need car credit on my loan. You got the down payment, you put the down payment down. Now 6-7 months, then you get that. Oh yeah, we're just gonna check your credit score and this and that. They don't care about your credit.
All right, we've said a lot. Like literally, we went through half of this video, and I was able to go ahead and just give you. I was able to give you more in depth knowledge than what he can. So essentially, in his video, because I watched it before, um, which is the reason why I want to continue. But the thing is, look, he did it. The best information that he gave you was um, about establishing credit, at least getting some credit, and just starting to build on that. And that he also told you that car history. God, it's so hard to even want to defend this guy. I think to say his information is very surface level doesn't really get beyond what it takes to approve somebody for any car. And again, you have someone that's telling you what it takes to approve somebody for a car, because I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So it's like I understand, and I've had a credit limit up to 100,000. I know what it takes to approve somebody for $100,000 car at least. So it's, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's jump into another video. How many views? I want to see how many views he got. 380? We gotta get me to 380. Like, subscribe, and share. If you want me to get 380 and help other people with credit, I can't do it without you guys. You gotta help me out. So go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the notification, and share. This guy got 380. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. Alright, let's move on to the video.